Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Washington County Fair Preview Morning Show. We are talking to the people that make the fair happen every single year, the unsung heroes that you don't really ever get to see very much of. And that's such an important thing because the fair means so much to all of us that I thought that this was a really cool look. And hopefully it's getting you excited for obviously a very different variation of the fair this year, but I hope that these are giving you a little bit of a clearer picture of why the fair is so important and why continuing the fair, even in these times and under these circumstances, is so important. So today we are talking to three people that are in charge of some of the most well-loved sections of the fair. So I'm going to bring them on right now. Greg, who is the FFA superintendent, Julie, who is in charge of livestock and dairy show, and Kristina, who is from URI 4-H. Hey, everybody, how are you?
Great.
Good.
Thank you so much for being here. So, Greg, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about the FFA and what you guys do every year at the fair.
Well, the FFA is a youth organization that's tied to the ag classes in the high schools. And so the really cool part about it is that there's a lot of competitions throughout the year. But the cool thing about the Washington County Fair is the fact that it's like the culmination of the year for the students. And so it's some of the competitions that they do really highlight all of the work that they've done for the entire school year. It's also developed some bragging rights for the kids. So, like with our landscape design competitions, whoever wins at Washington County Fair gets to go to the Big E and compete against everybody in New England. Whoever wins the Woodsman's contest can have those bragging rights for the rest of the year. And then, the tractor driving contest, whoever wins there goes to compete, up there at the Big E. So it's really a cool thing for the kids. It's also a really great way for the students to get jacked up about the upcoming school year so that they get excited about knowing that a lot of them are going to go to the National FFA convention. And so the work that they do at Washington County Fair brings that in, puts it all into place for them. So there's a lot of excitement.
That's awesome. Julie, tell us a little about the livestock and dairy shows.
Okay, well, we have many kinds of animals. We have dairy cattle, beef cattle, sheep, goats, swine, rabbits, poultry, working steers, and we also have a 4-H dog show. With all those animals, we have an open youth, which is anybody can compete. We also have the 4-H shows, which only the 4-H members can compete. And then, of course, we have the open shows so the old people like I can still compete and bring my stuff. And we also have some, besides the normal thing is we would have a breed show, and that's how the animals put together. Then we would have a showmanship class, and that's how the kid prepares the animal. And that also, it's how they dress, how they train the animal. But then we also have some really fun stuff, which we have like the swine obstacle course, we have a rooster crowing contest, we have a bunny race, animal costume class, we have clipping classes. So we have all kinds of stuff to keep the kids busy for 5 days.
Yeah, yes, very busy. And that's incredible. Kristina, I know that there's a little bit of overlap with some of this stuff. Can you tell us about 4-H?
4-H is a program from the USDA and through the University of Rhode Island in Rhode Island for kids age 5 through 18. They participate in science projects, public speaking, animal projects, art. That's another big area of ours, horticulture, etc. So we have some overlap also with FFA, where we have 4-Hers who are younger who become FFA members, and we have a lot of overlap in the livestock areas as well, where our 4-Hers show in the different species. In addition to doing those other projects, 4-Hers also do a 4-H farm school at Washington County where they tell the public about animal projects, or last year we had kids speak about beekeeping, maple syrup. So they'll tell about different agriculture type projects in the show barn. We also have kids who will participate in the exhibit halls they can exhibit any project on any knowledge base that they've learned all year. So you might have a kid who teaches the rest of the crowd through a science-based board on farrowing a pig, or tree husbandry, or it can be almost any subject in agriculture and science. And then we also have kids who participate in art. So they'll send in their favorite photos. They'll send in their baked goods. We have kids who do the growing food. So they have gardens that they present and bring in pieces from eggs that they've grown. So we're really happy that 4-Hers participate in a lot of different categories at Washington County.
That's incredible. Obviously, like I said, we see a lot of the things that you guys do, and maybe we don't like I feel like the people that are in FFA and 4-H and you guys really know everything that goes into it, and I think that for like we said on one of the other episodes, 100,000 people come through the gates every year. And for a lot of those 100,000 people, these are the only time that they're ever getting up close and personal with these animals. And that is special. I know that it was a really special experience for me when I was a kid. And yeah, so what is that like normally to be such a part of sometimes being people's only bridge to this world? And in addition to showcasing what your kids and farmers and students are doing, which is amazing, and then also, what are some of the challenges and what are you doing this year? Anybody who wants to take that can.
So I think one of the things that for me, and I think for the other ag teachers as well, is like when we're in the FFA barn and we have the ducklings that are on the slide and you have the baby chicks. And it's cool for us as teachers to see our students take over in discussion with the people coming in, and that they become the teacher and they start talking to the people, and then they realize that the experiencing that they have in school is what is allowing them to be able to be the professional. And so it's a really great experience for the students to be able to do that. With a landscape exhibit, you don't know how many times people have walked up to students and asked if will they come and do that at their house.
Yeah,
they think that, and they think that they're professionals that are doing that. So that's the beauty of the fair, is that the tradition that's there, the kids you were talking about, the tradition of what it is. Julie and I showed against each other. So we were in 4-H together. Christy was a little bit younger than me, so but we and then what's really interesting about that is I have two students that graduated this year that their dad was behind me in 4-H, and now I have their kids. And so it's that tradition, but it's just the idea of the experience for the kids to show off what they worked really hard on.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what are you guys doing if the world is upside down right now, obviously, and a lot of the things that you do you can't do. So if anything, like what as far as livestock, FFA, and 4-H are we getting this year at the virtual fair?
I know that some of the kids have prepared their animals and done videos and sent them in so that they can see what they have done, and how to show the animals and prepare them, which I think it's a long time doing it. You just don't put your animal on the trailer to go to the fair. I mean, it takes hours and weeks and months and years to prepare your animal to go to show. And I think for a lot of these kids, it's very disappointing that they can't show off their animals this year. And especially for like the beef kids who got their steers early, and now at the end of the year, they don't have their 4-H auction at the Big E. I saw some things on Facebook that people were selling their beef, at home. So and it's not just Washington County Fair that got canceled. All of them pretty much did. And I think that when you work really hard and want to show, it's it's heartbreaking. Our summers are totally different this year.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I definitely want to speak to Julie's point that some of these kids have bred animals. They may have started their line when they were 10 years old and they finally got a great heifer and they bred that heifer last year so that they would have a heifer this year that's their own bred and owned animal, and they picked the sire. And those animals still were born this year, and these kids still worked on those animals and still trained them all the way through the winter. And now they've come to the summer where that would be the time for this animal to shine, and now that's gone for them. In some cases, on some of these animals, Julie's in livestock, but some of these animal projects have a prime time. For instance, in beef cattle, a lot of times a yearling is the prime time of that animal. So that's when they're going to show the best. That's when they're going to win the most. That's the year that you're hoping to show. In pigs, if you have a swine project, those animals need to be under 6 months old to show. So if you farrowed out a litter this year and, you know, kept the sow all winter to farrow to have piglets, and then you have all these piglets to show, they won't have another show season. So there's some animals that it's really sad because the kids are not gonna ever show that animal. Same thing with the baby beef that had to be sold off now at this point, where they've put them in pastures now to sell them because they would have had them for months more, but it's not going to happen now. It's been a little depressing and definitely a life lesson for all these kids. It's sometimes things don't turn out the way we hope, but we're hoping that we're hoping that people actually go in and view what these kids have done, view the FFA exhibits, view the 4-H exhibits, check out their livestock. And I know it only will be like a couple of minutes of somebody's time to view a livestock, but that dairy kid may have had to clip for 2 hours, wash and clip for 2-3 hours just to show you that video. So it would be a great favor to all of us if you guys, if anybody out there took the time to do those views so that they can see people cared about what they did this year.
Yeah, I would say I want to thank the fair. We want to thank the fair for attempting this and doing this for the kids, because I think we want to think about this. A lot of the stuff that these kids love in starting on March 13th got canceled. Everything in their life got canceled. And, you know, it's tough for these kids because they really want, you know, I had some kids, they wanted their name on that plaque and they wanted to win, and they want, you know, and this is, like you said, like Christy said, like these were kids that were seniors. It was their last chance to participate. So for the fair to put on a virtual like this, you know, we did the best we could to get these kids some experiences that we normally do. And I just want to thank the fair for having that. And so, yeah, I would have people watch, see what the kids are doing. Just let them know that you are seeing, you know, watching, and that's going to make them feel good. I mean, they need this. They need to know that people are really are supporting them.
That's a beautiful sentiment. And I think, you know, like I said, the fair being an opportunity for 100,000 people to step in and to experience the world that these kids work so hard in every single day of the year is beautiful, and it's definitely something that we're all going to miss this year, and we're going to do our best to recreate it by showing their work virtually. And I just I you know, if nothing else, I hope that things like these conversations can make it so that next year when we're able to be there in person and go take a tour of the animals and watch some of the livestock and dairy shows, that we can have a little bit more of an appreciation for the hard work that you guys do and the hard work that these kids are doing every single day. And that pride, like you said, of getting their names on the plaque, you know, that's really it's very important. And I think that that's beautiful. So thank you guys all. Do you have any last words, something that you're looking forward to this year or that you're really going to miss? Any last words that you guys would all like to say?
I'm going to miss a piece of pie.
Yeah, the good fair food. For us people that have the animals, we call it showbox talk. We sit on the show boxes, and all of our friends, all of the past fairgoers will go by. They come by and look at it, look to see us every year, and we sit and chat with our old friends. Like Greg and Christy and I were all in 4-H together, and all our kids were in 4-H. Some of them are older than others, but Christy's daughter is in now. My son's graduated, and so has Greg's kids graduated out. But all those kids come through, and and it's a nice time to reminisce and just sit back and have a really nice evening and visit with everybody after all your hard work.
I'll definitely miss seeing all of our fair crowd, so to speak. And I'm going to miss, I don't get to see every show, but I love running over at the last minute and getting to see the champion dairy showman for the day, or peeking my head out of a booth and getting to see who won the beef show, and getting to see the culmination of all the project work that these kids have done. I make it a point that I'm not going to see everything all on the first day. So I'm going to take my time to look through the FFA landscapes and whatnot, and I'm going to look at everything they did. And I'll miss being able to see all the kids getting their awards at the end of the fair. So again, I'm hoping that people at least view them and those kids. And I also want to say, we will miss all the kids who are 18 or 19 and they're phasing out of some of this work. But we can't wait for them to be volunteers next year, like all of us and our kids are.
Yes.
Awesome.
I don't know if I'll miss the fair dirt and sweat.
And the rain.
The dirt, yeah, and the grunge that gets all over you, but it's a good. It's always a good day. Fun.
But that dirt gets under your, into your skin, and you have to be part of that. I mean, we grew up there, and we are part of the fair, and it's really, sometimes you forget about that. You're so accustomed to being in the ring with students or doing whatever you're doing, that reality is people are coming to see what you guys are doing, like what we're doing. And so we're not attending the fair, we're actually the fair. And I think that that's a really cool thing, that you try to get your kids, and all of our kids are still part of it. Pete's still part of it, Lauren's still part of it, and I know Christy's family, and my gosh, all around their whole entire, both sides of her family are knee deep into it. It's just, it's a great thing.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much, all three of you. What a beautiful sentiment to end on, Greg. You are the fair, and those kids are the fair. And for the three of you, your passion is palpable. So thank you guys so much for spending this time with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. So that will do it for today. And I just want to thank Greg and Julie and Kristina one more time, because without the hard work of people like them and their kids, the fair would not be the same, and it wouldn't be what we all know and love. And so we just want to say thank you on behalf of everyone watching, and all of the 100,000 people that attend the fair every year. We want to say thank you for all of your hard work to them and everybody else that puts the fair on every single year, which is run by volunteers, and it's just a wonderful thing. Also, I would like to say that if you want to support the fair, you are supporting the people that are running the organizations. The fair is the home of many, many, many nonprofit organizations, local nonprofits that really, really need desperately this week of income every single year. It's their biggest fundraising week of the year, and the majority of that has been taken away this year due to this pandemic. But you can still help. There are still ways to help. So when these segments are going to be airing, there are going to be links in the description of the video. There are going to be links in the comments. that direct you to how to help these organizations, how to donate to these organizations, how to purchase things that they're selling on behalf of what they would be selling towards the fair, links to their websites, stuff like that. Also, a wonderful way to do this and to support it is to buy a 2020 virtual fair t-shirt. So all of that is in the description of this video, and please check that out. Please like the Facebook page. Please follow the YouTube page so that you can watch the fair starting Wednesday, August 12th at 6:30 p.m. Thanks, guys. We'll see you at the fair.